Hi, and welcome back to Hey, have you read this book? Today's book is Child of the Jungle, written by Sabine Kuegler. This amazing true story is about a German family living amongst a native tribe who live with an ancient, brutal tradition of revenge. This story is so extraordinary that it was made into a movie. Sabine's parents were German and had studied linguistics. Their first assignment was to live among a tribe called the Rai in Nepal. Then when Sabine was 7 years old, she moved with her mother, sister and brother to Kuegler, a remote part of West Papua, Indonesia, located in the western half of the island of New Guinea, where her father was already living and had built a house. The house was on stilts in a small clearing in the jungle close to the river. Sabine's father wanted to learn the language and culture of the Fayou tribe. At first, Sabine's father could only communicate with the Fayou using 3 interpreters, from English to Indonesian, Indonesian to Do to Fayou. The Fayou tribe had never seen a white person before and were not aware that other cultures even existed. Sabine became friends with the children from the Fayou tribe. She was not interested in doing schoolwork, but her mother would not let her out to play until all her lessons were done. Sabine was only interested in playing and exploring with her Fayou friends and bringing insects and animals home for pets. Sabine taught the Fayou children games she knew, and the Fayou children taught Sabine and her brother how to make and use bows and arrows, which plants and animals could be eaten, how to make fire, build huts and other survival skills. The Fayou lived a hunter-gatherer existence. Each family built 3 or 4 huts. They lived in a hut for about 3 months as they hunted and gathered food in that area. Then they would move on to the next hut when food became scarce. In the jungle there were many dangers such as wild boars, snakes, scorpions, crocodiles and poisonous insects. But Sabine felt safe in the jungle until one day some men from a neighbouring Fayou clan arrived at the village in canoes. The women and children quietly disappeared. The men from the 2 clans started arguing, which then progressed to shouting, then stomping, then running towards each other with arrows in their bows, chanting a war cry, then retreating. This went on for hours, then a battle followed. Many on both sides had arrow wounds. The Fayou believed that when a person died of disease, the family would have to avenge the death by killing someone from another clan who they believed had cursed the dead person. Any man, woman or child could be killed, so it was the most vulnerable who was killed. Girls to marry were in short supply because the Fayou practiced polygamy, so a girl from another clan would usually be taken for a wife by force. This meant that her father, brother or husband, who was her protector, was murdered. So the Fayou developed a cycle of revenge. Sometimes both parents were killed and the children were left in the jungle to fend for themselves. The Fayou children lived in a constant state of anxiety, not knowing who would be killed next. The Fayou actually longed for peace, but they were bound by their ancient law of revenge. The arrival of the Kuegler family showed the Fayou that forgiveness and peace was possible. Sabine's mother opened the first school for the Fayou, with children from different clans attending. Sabine's mother also became the midwife for the Fayou women. Over the years, the Fayou watched how Sabine's parents treated each other, and they began to change the way they treated their own wives. Sabine's family enjoyed eating the food from the jungle. Their diet included crocodile and snake meat, ants, grubs and bats. Because Sabine and her siblings had grown up living in different countries, they had learned to speak Nepalese, Rai, German, English, Indonesian, then finally Fayou, which is a tonal language and therefore more difficult to learn. In the jungle there are millions of mosquitoes, which meant that the Kuegler family were often sick with malaria. When the family went to Germany for a break, the first few months were exciting as the children were exposed to many things like TV, radio and shops that they hadn't seen before. But Sabine missed the jungle and was happy to return. But when the children started attending school in Jayapura, they only went back to Foida during vacations. When Sabine was sent to Switzerland to attend boarding school, she had to adjust to Western life again. She didn't feel like she belonged, but she knew that she couldn't return to the jungle, where she felt that was not where she belonged anymore either. When her marriage failed and she lost her job, her life began to fall apart, and she resolved to find the peace and happiness that she knew as a child of the jungle. I think that you will really enjoy reading this story of a girl caught between two worlds. Thanks for watching.